Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How are we getting on? Happy New Year! So, I thought we'd kick things off this year by taking a little look back at the last one and a little sort of channel update and look forward to what we've got lined up for 2024, which should be really cool because, yeah, as busy as last year was, this year is looking to be pretty darn packed as well, which is really, really cool, especially the front half, which is particularly awesome. So, yeah, first off, good place to start would be to say a very big thank you very much for your continued support throughout 2023 and welcome on in to those of you who are reasonably new to the channel. Very much appreciated. It's been a funny old year, 2023, which occurs to me, I think I said about 2022 and possibly 2021 as well. Almost certainly said it about 2020 because that was a funny year. But yeah, it's been a bit of a weird one. Not bad, but not as outstandingly good as it had the potential to be, which really kind of encapsulates the whole of the year, actually. So yeah, sort of looking back, we did a whole bunch of fun stuff. Fallout was weird. Unsurprisingly, in a sense, it was kind of under the shadow of Starfield, or the impending release of Starfield, so the updates were not particularly large in scale. They were good in what they had, but they were a bit small, really, throughout 2023. The exception being Atlantic City at the end of the year, of course, which is starting to move more in the direction we've been hoping for, slowly, for a while. But yeah, I mean, I've liked the content this year, it's just it needed to be more, but kind of understand why it wasn't with Starfield there. Speaking of Starfields, there's another one that's been a bit weird. Definitely hoped Starfield was going to turn out to be the next big thing and really have a massive impact, and it's had a significant impact, obviously, but not quite the one I think anybody was really hoping for. Yeah, I'm definitely enjoying the game. I do not subscribe to a lot of the BS that is out there on the internet at the moment regarding the reviews and people's responses to it. Most people seem to be talking a lot of garbage, but I'm having a lot of fun with it. But there are a number of ways in which perhaps it didn't achieve its potential, for sure, and some things that I would have liked to have seen being done better that perhaps weren't. So, you know, you like the whole premise of settled systems, big space game, the space to fill is absolutely humongously massive. I think Bethesda put a lot of stuff into their game. Problem is the box that they're trying to fill is proportionally that much huger that you end up with the inevitable struggle to do that. So reach exceeding grasp, I think, is the problem there. You know, definitely. Well, the other side of that, though, I suppose, is that it gives a good platform for modding, which, whether intentional or otherwise, really does open that up, and that was really a good thing for Skyrim, but even more for Starfield. There's a lot of space to put mods in there, so no pun intended. So that's not such a bad thing for the future. We'll have to see what happens there. The shipbuilding side of things really took off for a lot of people. That's cool. Not really my cup of tea. I enjoyed doing it to an extent, but I'm not really into that so much. I was really hoping for the outpost side to be great, and let's be honest, it kind of wasn't. It's lacking in stuff to work with. It's got some cool new systems, but those don't work perfectly either. And considering how small a system it is and smaller part of the game, I'm sure from a development standpoint it's complex, but as a proportion of, you know, from a player experience point of view, it's buggier than you'd like for such a small thing, really. And yeah, also much smaller than we'd like, so it is what it is. But hopefully, as I say, mods next year and updates which are planned every roughly 6 weeks from sort of next month, which is cool. And obviously DLC will be on the horizon as well, so hopefully all of that stuff together will make for a very interesting future for Starfield. So, on the streaming front, we had a good year as well. We kicked off with Red Dead 2, which I really, really enjoyed. Didn't quite rate it as highly as everybody else did, I think. Interestingly, apparently I had a bit of a contrary year like that. But I did thoroughly enjoy it. I had a great time with that game. We played Resident Evil 4, which was the remake, and that was really, really cool. Thought I did a really great job of that, as Capcom did previously with 3 and 2 as well. Played both of those in the past and enjoyed those. What else did we play? We played Redfall, which deserved to be better than it was. I enjoyed it, but it was not the strongest thing ever. Probably for a whole load of corporate versus creative reasons, but, you know, that is what it is. Not the worst game in the world, but could have been a lot better than it ended up being. But I did have fun with that one. What else did we play? Metro was cool. Metro Exodus I really enjoyed. I had a lot of fun playing that. Played some other stuff over the summer, which is now skittering out of my brain now that I'm on the moment. But yeah, take a look at the live tab on the channel if you want to have a look at the live streams we did, or at least the first episodes of them. If there are any games there that you want to catch up on the live streams of, be that anything from Red Dead through to Starfield or Fallout, first episode's on the live page, everything else is on a playlist. That way you don't get kind of spammed, basically, is the short version of that. So yeah, playlists if you want to check those out. But yeah, that does bring the question of what we've got coming up, which is extensive. I have notes. There are many. Which I'll try and get straight into. So yeah, we kind of talked about Fallout 76. That's going to be an ongoing thing. Still enjoying that. I'm really enjoying the Atlantic City update that dropped in December. That was quite fun. Some new stuff, new area to explore, new expeditions. I was hoping it would be a bit more expansive and more exploration-based than it has been. However, there is a load more stuff coming in Part 2 of Atlantic City in March. So hopefully that will give us a bit more exploration. We'll see. There's definitely going to be a load of quest stuff. They've done a little bit on the Appalachia side. That's going to be expanding as well in the next update, so that should be cool. And we also got the Shenandoah update teased as well at the back end of last year, so that should be dropping, well, later on. My hunch is September, but they haven't got specific. I'm just guessing there, but I think September feels about right. When we could be getting an entirely new map. It looks like we might be getting a fully explorable region added onto the game, which would be great. We've been crying out for that for years. On the other hand, I'm going to kind of ease back from that a little bit, and I'll believe it that when it's 100% confirmed it is that, because there have been a couple of occasions where it looked like they were going that way in the past, and they didn't, so, you know. A little caution there, I think, is warranted. Still, definitely looking forward to that. Oh yeah, Fallout TV show's happening in April. That should be cool. Looking forward to that. Not expecting it to be the greatest TV show ever made. Hopefully it'll be fun and good, though. We just found out that the guy who's doing the score is the guy who did Game of Thrones and Westworld as well, I believe. That came out in the last couple of days, so that's a cool piece of news. Yeah, looking forward to that. Obviously, there's all of the new stuff on Starfield lined up for the rest of the year as well, that we've touched on already. Definitely looking forward to that, mods in particular and DLC and stuff. Oh, worth mentioning on the mods front, by the way, while I remember. For those of you who are on console, I'm not going to be shutting you guys out, which is why I haven't dived into the mods already, because I want to make sure any mods I use are available on both Xbox and on PC. So if you can play the game, you should be able to access everything I do. That's the theory. So we're going to have to wait until next year when mods actually will be then available for console. So yeah, looking forward to that. Keeping it with Bethesda, for the last thing that's majorly on the Bethesda front is Fallout 4's next-gen update, whatever format that may be. Whether you want to call it well, not really remaster, is it? But it's an update. That was supposed to be last year. Looks like it's going to be next year. Bethesda have said that they're expecting it to be this year sometime. Yeah, looking forward to seeing what the deal with that is. Fallout London's happening as well sometime this year. I think that's the early part of this year, as if it wasn't stacked enough already. I've still got a whole load more stuff on the first half of this year to talk about. So yeah, with Fallout London, which is a London-centric, massive expansion-type mod for Fallout 4, we'll have to check that one out, won't we? So I'm going to keep an eye out for that, as well as I think we'll have to do a full Fallout 4 playthrough once we get the sort of next-gen update for that. So it would seem like the done thing, wouldn't it? So as and when that happens, that's on the cards for this year. And then we move on to non-Bethesda stuff, which is a list at least as long as what I've already covered. So, however, I've got less detail, so... So yeah, things kicking off for me in terms of games outside of Bethesda that I want to look at on the 24th of January when Enshrouded enters Early Access. There was a demo for that. I don't know if it's still up or not. There was one at the end of last year anyway. That looked quite fun. It's a survival game with a lot of base building and crafting. It seems to have a bit more going on to it than usual, or many of these games have in the past, hopefully. A bit more story-centric and stuff like that. I've checked a few survival games out over the last few years. Some have been quite fun. Relatively few have really had that special something that even the Fallout series has had. So we're still looking for something that falls into that category, but hopefully Enshrouded's got the potential to do that. That's the end of January anyway, so I'm looking forward to checking that one out. Should line up with roughly when I would expect we'll complete our playthrough of Starfield as well, so that might work out quite nicely. There is oodles of games coming out in February, absolutely loads of them, so if you're looking for something to play, double check online about the February releases, because there's tons of them. But the big one I've got my eye on at the moment is Nightingale. I've been talking about this one for over a year at this point, maybe not quite 18 months, but a while. That one's dropping on 22nd of February. It's from a lot of devs who are involved with BioWare and the like, and it's another open world survival crafting thing. It's got this kind of gas lamp style, so kind of Victorian era, sort of just about pre-industrial, around about Industrial Revolution period, meets fae, fantasy, magic, kind of bits of all of that to make a really, really unique looking, very, very cool concept. And yeah, that's been pushed back several times, but hopefully that should be dropping on time on the 22nd of February, and looking forward to trying that out. Definitely looks very, very pretty, very, very cool. The building side of it looks very, very interesting and quite potentially massive as well. It's got some fun multiplayer possibilities, so I'm hyped for that. If you want to check that one out and you're curious, I would say both of those games are probably worth a quick Google around and check out the trailers and stuff, because they do look interesting. So, what else have we got going on? A bit later on, and with less specific dates this year, good shout would be The Axis Unseen, which we will be checking out at some point. This is a heavy metal horror hunting game, kind of, where you hunt creatures from folklore with bow and arrow to a heavy metal soundtrack. And it's being developed by Nate Perkypile, who was a developer at Bethesda for about 15 years-ish. Seems to be a pretty cool guy. He is best known for creating Little Lamplight, Diamond City, and somewhere Blackreach, was it? In Skyrim as well. He's the guy who designed those areas, and plenty of others as well. So he's gone fully solo as of, well, COVID. And he's making his own game that should be out this year. That one you can check out on YouTube and various other places. There's little clips and stuff about that, and he's got a Twitter account that he posts on quite regularly. So, yeah, that's worth a gander. I think it'll be interesting. I'm going to check that one out when it eventually drops. Somewhere in the first half of this year as well, Horizon Forbidden West should be landing on PC. Played the first Horizon game initially on PlayStation and then later on PC when it arrived again. Very, very, very much enjoyed that. Really, really cool game. Very much looking forward to pursuing that further. Didn't get very far of it, if I remember rightly, on PlayStation, but we did play through it on stream, so playing the sequel should be pretty cool. I'm looking forward to that one at some point this year, so that's something else that's on the cards. Yep, we're starting to make a headway here. What else is happening further on? So, the maybes, we've got Light No Fire is a newly announced game from Hello Games, who are the people behind No Man's Sky. And that looks to be another crafting survival open world game that looks pretty cool. As I say, this was announced at the Game Awards just before Christmas. And yeah, that looks pretty darn cool. So, going to be keeping an eye on that. We don't have any release date at all for that yet. But yeah, definitely going to have an eye out on that one. So on the Star Wars front, we've actually got 3 games, one which I haven't written down here. I'm going to say that one first because I'll forget otherwise. Star Wars Eclipse was announced years ago. It's being developed by, I think it's Quantic Dream, I think it is. I think that's the studio. People who are behind Detroit Become Human. And they have put out an interesting concept trailer for their Star Wars game, Star Wars Eclipse. We've not heard anything since then, and that was 2 years ago maybe? So that's a bit, But you never know, we might hear something more about that eventually. Star Wars Outcast, we know, is coming this year. That's being released developed by Ubisoft, and it's a non-Jedi themed Star Wars game, smuggler-centric. Your main character is a smuggler. It's action adventure, maybe a little bit of RPG to it, but somewhere in that vein that Ubisoft do, and it will probably have Ubisoft does Star Wars vibes to it, I suspect. But it does look pretty cool. Going to be keeping an eye on that, and almost certainly playing that, given my love of all things Star Wars. So yeah, should be very cool. That's due out sometime in 2024. They recently said late 2024 and then backtracked on that very, very hard, very quickly afterwards. So sometime this year, hopefully, probably. We'll see. And the last Star Wars thing we have on there is Star Wars Jedi Survivor, which has been out for ages, but we've been waiting for the EA and Respawn to basically make it run a lot better, because by all accounts it does not. From the sound of things, significant improvements have been made, and we'll have to see what we can do with that at some point, and whenever we can shoehorn that in. And the last thing for late 2024 that we need to talk about is Hellblade 2, Senua's Saga. Played Hellblade 1 on the channel, absolutely loved that, had a really, really great time playing that game. Looking forward to playing some more of Senua's journey. It was epic. Ninja Theory's dive into a Celtic warrior's exploration of Norse mythology through her own psychosis and mental ill health was a fascinating, if a little short, game. There's definitely a lot of potential to expand on it and make it more complex and stuff, which I get the vibe is what they're going to do with the follow-up. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting thing, and from the sound of things, an absolutely gorgeous game as well. So, short and sweet, we've got a few things here that I want to talk about. and that in much more condensed form. That's things that we'll probably stream at some point as and when I can fit them in the otherwise chaotic schedule. So that might be this year, if I can. Otherwise, some things may end up getting pushed even further to next year. So, Remnant 2. We played Remnant 1 on the channel. Had a lot of fun with that, Remnant from the Ashes. And Remnant 2 came out last summer. A lot of acclaim, got really good responses, looks really cool. Couldn't fit it in myself at the time. And it's now on Game Pass, so looking forward to checking that one out. That will go in if I get a chance. Resident Evil, we talked about Resident Evil 4. Definitely want to play Resident Evil 7 and Village. I've not played either one yet, but I have both now on Steam, so when we get the opportunity, we'll squeeze those in as well. I'm not going to bother with 5 or 6 because I played 5 many years ago and it wasn't good. And 6 I was not interested in playing either because I was so put off by 5, so we'll skip over that period and go straight to the next one that is considered to be a real peak in the series quality, and that is Resident Evil 7. So hopefully we'll get that played at some point. We might fit it in this year. It might end up getting pushed further back. We'll see. It's not exactly new, so it doesn't have to be a major priority, but we'll see where the opportunities come. Obviously, Resident Evil Village follows up on that as well, follows same character and happens a little bit later, so that is on the cards eventually too. And the last one on my list of games to talk about is The Witcher 3. We've played 1 and 2 on the channel. 1 was a bit of a whole thing, so we'll ignore that one. But 2 was really, really cool. Really had a lot of fun with that one, and I'm looking forward to playing The Witcher 3. I've never played it yet, I know, shocking, but that's definitely coming up at some point, but it's also going to be huge, so I need to know there's a big chunk of time to get stuck into that, and he all knows when we're going to fit that in. So yeah, that is where we're at, looking forward for the channel in the next year. I'm going to make a couple of little bits and pieces of changes in terms of like the appearance and stuff like that. Relatively minor ones, I think, but we'll see how it goes. You may have noticed I didn't put an intro at the front of this video, the usual little intro clip I did, because I'm going to try out not doing that, to be honest. We'll see how it goes. Let me know what you think. And yeah, I'll have to rework some other bits and pieces over time because those of you who were around, particularly the live streams before Christmas, will know I was planning on reinstalling Windows and doing a massive overhaul of my PC, which is a little bit of a, you know, stopping the dam leaking by sticking your finger in it kind of job. But it has revamped my PC and given it a bit of a fresh lease on life, which is great. We've got some cool, hopefully streamlined things and interesting stuff happening with the stream. Should make things run a bit smoother and have less issues and hopefully make it look a little better and sound a bit better, so hopefully. Well, I've been doing all that the last few days, which is why it's taken me a little bit longer to get off the ground at the front of January than I hoped. So, yeah, most of that is done, and the one big thing that did not go well was my editing software. Or I had a whole big thing with a work in progress project with stuff related to like the stream intros and stuff like that that sadly I do not have anymore. So that's going to take a lot of time to re-establish that, and I'm not going to rush into it because this is a lot of work. But we'll get there eventually, and we'll sort of work through that over coming weeks and months as we do all of the other huge pile of stuff that we've got down here. So, yeah, fun. Looking forward to 2024. I think I've got some cool stuff lined up. I've got some other non-YouTube projects that I hope to try and find time to engage in as well, and at some point sleep and have a life. Maybe, hopefully. We'll see if any of that happens, but yeah, there's a few alarm bells on the horizon as well for 2024, but hopefully it's going to work out well. I hope it goes well for you guys. Happy New Year. I hope you all had a great holiday period, Christmas break, all that good stuff as well. I didn't get a lot of gaming in, but I got some much needed chill and got to catch up with some friends, so yeah, that was good as well. And family, of course. Really had fun there. So yeah, not too bad overall, and looking forward to what's coming up in the next little while. So, thank you all for hanging out, thank you all for watching. If by some weird miracle you've got here without being subbed and stuff already, kudos, that's awesome. You know where the buttons are if you want to hit them. Likes and all that good stuff, social media links, merch store, channel memberships, all that down below the video as well if you want to check it out. And yeah, live streams will be kicking back into action hopefully later today. And yeah, then back to resuming usual broadcast schedules and the like on Monday, hopefully. So yeah, should be back at it very, very soon. So thank you very much for watching, and I look forward to speaking to you all very, very soon.